Hello and welcome to I Am Geek, episode 223, and this is I Am Disney. I'm Ryan, joined by my good pal Katrin.
Heyo.
My brother Chris is not feeling well, so he's not on it. Some muscle injury or something. I think he was
too many
doing
sports.
karate. Yeah, too many sports. You know him. But we are here. This is our I Am Disney week. We have started this weekly thing every month. We have an I Am Disney and I Am Star Wars, I Am Marvel, I Am Legend. Last week you guys did I Am Legend when I wasn't here. And we're going to talk about what I was doing last week. Tonight.
Yes.
And it just happens to be Disney related. Two Disney related things. So sit back, relax, and get ready to go on a Hawaiian roller coaster ride.
Ooh.
That's where we put the music in. Right there. I probably won't.
Probably.
Anyways. So I'm still like, you're supposed to come back from vacation all revived and renewed, but I'm exhausted because the time change really messed me up, because right now Hawaii is like 5 hours behind us, I guess. Yeah.
4 hours?
Oh, I think it's 5. I think it's
5? Wow.
Central, then Mountain, and the Pacific, and then there's this random
In the middle of nowhere.
in the middle of the ocean time.
Yeah.
And then Hawaii.
Yeah.
So what's that, 4 or 5? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, we're trying to figure out, and I'm like, no, I think there's this random middle of the ocean, and there is. So random. So you have to be in the middle of the ocean for one time zone.
All right.
So yeah, so it's earlier there, but it's late here. So my mind's all messed up. So if I just start talking nonsense,
Yeah. You got to adjust still. It takes a while to get adjusted.
Oh, yeah.
It probably took you a while to get adjusted there in Hawaii as well, right?
yeah,
Maybe
I
it
mean,
was easier though. I don't
well,
know.
it was funny because I didn't set, an alarm because I'm on vacation. I'm
Right.
gonna wake up when I wake up, and every morning I get a text at like 7 a.m. I'm just like, oh. And I have to sort of have them on. I had it on like personal where I could still get certain people because my mom was here with the kids and stuff. But I don't think the time change set in, so they thought it was later there, but it was like super early.
Yeah.
So anyways, so I got adjusted to it, but now I want to be back on Hawaii time because I think I like Hawaiian time.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I can see that.
Yeah, so we'll start with Aulani because that's where I went. It's a DVC Disney resort in Hawaii that I'll just go ahead and spoil it. They're freaking amazing. We're going to get into that because I know some of our listeners wanted to know about it. I think where we should start is what you have to do to be able to just go to Hawaii in 2022 because of everything that has happened in the world. Because that was an adventure in itself. Because we flew out of Houston and had to stop in Oakland, California.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I've never been to Oakland, California. I still really haven't been to Oakland, California because I've just been to the airport.
Right.
But we landed, and it actually looks over this like beautiful lake. And that's not what I was expecting at all, which was weird. But so you get off that plane, and then when we went over to the gate for the plane to Hawaii, I noticed that there was like nobody around. Like there was nobody in the. Usually when you go over there, there's people sitting, waiting, But it was like empty, and I'm like, are we the first ones here? Did we miss the flight? What's going on? And then I see this sign with this arrow pointed. If you're going to Hawaii, go up this ramp.
Oh, special.
So I found this line, and there's a super long line that you have to wait in to show them that you have this special QR code through the Hawaiian travel site that will allow you into Hawaii, which is weird. We had to fill out all this paperwork, all this stuff.
Yeah.
To be able to go there in the first place. So we had the QR codes and waited in this long line, and we were the last ones. Like there were people behind us, but we were the last ones to get through before they shut it down. because you could either do it there or you could do it when you got to Hawaii. But when you got to Hawaii, all the planes coming in would be going through the same line, so it'd be huge. You got to show them all this stuff. You got to get this special bracelet saying that you're allowed in Hawaii. So we did all that, and then finally got on the plane, and it was a long flight. Let me tell you, and it was a bumpy flight, and I ended up taking Dramamine because I don't do well. So
yeah, that seems like a long ways to go, right? Because you've got to go. It looks closer, right, on a map. It's like, there's Hawaii right outside of California. It's like Alaska. It's like super far away too.
Yeah.
But so it was a long flight over the ocean, right?
It's about 6 hours, I think.
Wow. I wouldn't imagine it would be that long.
Yeah.
In the plane to get that. That's from California, right?
Yeah, it was like 3 hours, I think. 3 hours or so like that to get to California.
Yeah.
And then it was like 5.5, 6 hours to get to Hawaii. So, man, it's a long. We thought about bringing the kids there sometime. I'm like, oh, gosh, 6 hours? Like that long on a plane ride with the kids? That's crazy. Anyway, so we finally got there, and we've been traveling all day, but because basically we were going west, it didn't feel like we were traveling all day because it was still sun up, bright and sunny there when we got there. And our flight came in a day before our resort reservation, so we had to stay at a different hotel that first night, which we stayed in Waikiki, which Waikiki side of the island and Aulani side of the island is very different. You can sort of think of, for us, for Katrin and me, maybe not for other listeners, but for me, think of Waikiki as the Myrtle Beach of Hawaii, if you want to think of it that way. That's something that we can think about. That's in South Carolina, right? Yeah, South Carolina. It's very touristy, very like.
It'd be like Destin too for a lot of people. That's where a lot of people from like what we call the Mid-South here in Memphis. That's where everybody goes that way to get to a beach, and it's the second Memphis is what they call it. So it's just like it's the real touristy area, Destin and Orange Beach, right? Yeah, but
it's very touristy, very crowded, very shops, stores, vendors, literally everywhere. So we got there. We stayed at the Princess something Sheraton Hotel.
Fancy.
It was okay. It was good. Yeah, it was nice. Okay, so we decided to do the Waikiki that first day, and we went to Duke's on the beach, which is this nice restaurant.
Mayonnaise.
It's like that's famous there, and it was really, really good. I had a steak. It was really nice, and a Pog slushy.
Nice.
Which is passion, orange, and
grapefruit.
Maybe guava.
Maybe. There you go. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
I think that's what it is. Passion orange guava, which is really good. Highly recommend that. But yeah, if you're in Waikiki, I recommend going to Duke's. It's sort of like the famous place there, and the food's really good, and it's right there on the beach, so you're just overlooking the ocean as you're eating. Mm-hmm. So not a bad first night, eating on the ocean. Yeah. And then the next day we got up and we thought about going to Diamond Head, which is like a crater you can go hike.
Yeah.
But we had to have the car back at a certain time. So it's like, we don't really have time to do that. And Aulani is on the other side of the island. So we had to drive over there. If right now, I'll tell you this, for those listening that want to go to Hawaii, if you want to do like stuff like away from your resort, get a car, because right now with COVID and stuff, like all the excursions, most of them won't pick you up at your hotel, so you have to figure out a way to get to where they are.
Yeah,
so it's better just have a car and just do it by yourself. Like if you want to go to Pearl Harbor or the Dole Plantation or stuff like that, get a car, at least for a day, and do all of that, which we wish we'd have had it for another day. We didn't really have a car for another day. So we did that. And any restaurant you go to, which just was surprising, you have to present your vaccination card to get in the restaurant.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't have a vaccination card, you have to present a negative test that was taken within 48 hours to get
Right.
into the restaurant. And they
I wonder
won't
if
let you in. They're like strict on it.
do you think it's because it's a tourist town, right? They expect people
It's
from out of town coming there.
all Hawaii's like that.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Anywhere you go in
that's
Hawaii.
the thing. It's a lot of tourism there, right? So,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the rule there, and they like strictly enforce it. Like they have people at the door, and they're like, "You're not getting in unless you present the card."
Because that's the thing. I mean, if it is a tourist area and they want to protect the people that work there, right? They want to keep them working. Then that's how they feel they can keep them safe, right? Is to make sure everybody that comes in is at least vaccinated, or has a negative test. So I don't blame them in some ways, but in other ways I could see where people are like, well, that stinks, that's kind of controlling, but
it was sort of nice though.
I get it. No, I understand.
Like, oh, this is like it felt like
normal.
They cared about stuff. Like they were like, we're going to make sure it's clean and everybody's healthy that comes in here, which I'm sure if you get somebody that had COVID could still like get in.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you can still be vaccinated, right? So,
but the cool thing about Aulani, because when we traveled over there and we were checking in, you show them your vaccination card and you have to show them the Hawaii travel Hawaii code, which to get a car you had to show them the code too. And then they give you a black wristband that you wear the whole time, so you don't have to keep your card. Basically, if you have the black wristband on, it means that you've been vaccinated. So every time you go to a restaurant or go in a store, it's not like you have to pull out your thing and say, oh, And all the stores in Waikiki and over there have like big things of hand sanitizer, and so you're not allowed to touch anything unless you sanitize your hands. So,
Yeah. I mean, again, I think that's because of the industry there, right? It keeps it very healthy, and it's kind of funny because Florida's the opposite way, right? They don't care. They've got the most cases. Everybody's coming from everywhere, and they don't give a crap, about it. And I mean, whatever. But it's like polar opposites. They don't seem to care.
But yeah, so we checked into Aulani, and we got an ocean view. So 20th anniversary, so we did that, which it was amazing. It's right there on the ocean. When in Waikiki, everything's sort of back off the beach, so you sort of see all the other stuff. Here it's just like you just see there's the ocean, and there's a cove, and there's cool rocks, and we look down over the pools. There's like 3 pools, a lazy river, 2 water slides, multiple hot tubs. Some of them are like the infinity hot tub, infinity pool, where it looks like you're just right there's the ocean and stuff.
Right. Yep.
So we checked in. The room was nice. When you walk in, your name is on the TV saying welcome in Hawaiian. I felt fancy.
Yeah.
You had to call and wait for your luggage to be brought up and all that. So it's really, it's fancy. Yeah. It's fancy. But there's other stuff around there, but it's not like Waikiki. It's sort of more quiet, more tropical feeling. Which is funny. The beach at Waikiki is actually a man-made beach, and they brought the sand in from like Australia or somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah. There wasn't a beach there. They just made it.
That's interesting. Wow.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure the beach at Aulani was the same way. I mean, because all the other beaches around it were very rocky, and this was like soft sand and stuff. So it's like.
So what was the sand a different color there? Because like we're used to the white beaches, kind of in the Florida area, the white sand, or was it like a darker color?
Yeah, it's more of a brown.
Yeah.
Now,
I've seen some videos before, and it seemed like it was more brown and it also looked dirty because, again, used to like seeing the white sand beaches,
Yeah, it's a brown, but the other coves, there's like all these different coves around you could go to that were natural coves, and they were all. It wasn't sand like that. It was like little rocks, little shells.
Yeah, yeah.
So it wasn't like the fine sand that you want to stick your feet in. It was like the rocks you walk on, like, oh, okay, I'm putting shoes on. So, which we'll talk about those coves. They were really cool. So yeah, so they have like at Aulani, they have right now they have one main restaurant. One restaurant is still closed because of COVID for some reason. Like the really nice one, they're like is on the beach basically. It's not open. I don't know why it's not open. I don't know if it's because they don't want to pay more people to work or whatever. But then they have the main restaurant that does a character breakfast and a prefix dinner that's like 3 courses that you have to pay for every course. You know, one of those things.
Yeah.
Which was good. It was good. And then they have like a quick service place and then like 2 bars where you can order stuff at. And then like a little 2 little huts that you can order like corn dog bites and chicken tenders and stuff from that are only open during the pool. The thing that surprises the most is that everything closes down at 8:00. So we're like, let's go to the pool. And they're like, oh, it closes at 8. And we're like, what? I'm like, well, what do people... So my wife goes, well, what do people do at 8:00? And the guy was like, well, you go to bed. It's like, we're not going to bed at 8:00. But yeah, it shuts down at 8, which is really,
wow.
It was really weird.
That's kind of weird. So Maine was kind of like that. But the reason Maine was like that was because it's mostly old people there, I think, is part of the problem. And it's old rich people, right? But it seemed like everything just shut down at a reasonable time, and not up all night. I'm sure there was a part somewhere in Maine, but, the areas we were in on the coast were pretty quiet at night, which, is fine. I mean, the
first night we was there, the main like adult hot tub, because there was an adult hot tub where kids weren't allowed, which was very nice, that overlooked the ocean. There's a pool that's supposed to be like that because of COVID. They're like, anybody can go in it. And it's like, oh, I don't want kids here. We left ours at home.
Right.
So the hot
tub, vacation.
We did that a bunch. The first night it was open till 10. So the second night we went back and we got in and they're like, we're closed. And I'm like, what? It's only 8:00. And they're like, oh, that was holiday hours yesterday. And now we're back on regular hours. So I'm wondering if it's always been like this because of COVID, right? And it's changed because of COVID, and they don't want to pay people like another.
Yeah, that was my thought. Yeah,
thing like another. What am I talking about?
Shift.
Yeah. They don't want to pay another shift, or if it's always been like this and they always just close at 8. I don't know.
Could be. I don't know. Maybe they don't. Maybe they. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe people like to sleep.
Maybe so. But it's not like they opened up early. I mean, everything opened up like at 8.
Yeah.
So it was like 8 to 8, basically. So some of the restaurants, I think, stayed open till like 10.
Yeah.
So I guess you go at 8:00, you go eat. I guess that's what you do.
Yeah. That's right.
And they had live music playing at this one restaurant/bar at nighttime, which was nice. And they had like they had different people every night. Some nights it was like they don't care, they're just up there playing music. And then there was this couple. Do you remember Saturday Night Live? The couple, it's like Will Ferrell and I forget the lady, and they're like
Sherry O'Terry. Or no, I know what you're talking about.
Like nerdy sort of, and they're playing the keyboard,
playing the music and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
It was a couple that was exactly like that.
Nice.
the lady started singing Uptown Funk You Up, Uptown Funk You Up.
Maybe they were trying to be like that.
And I'm like, what is happening? But they had this big, like, it looked like a bulletproof partition that was in front of them, and that was like, okay, I get it, COVID, but it also went down the middle of them.
Oh,
so they had this partition in between them. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, do they not know each other? Does they just show up, do their gig, and go about their separate ways?
Yeah.
But what was funny is when they would talk to each other, they would look around the partition, and I'm like, so why is there a middle partition?
It's clear.
But they were the only people that had that weird partition. But it was funny.
So Winchester says Fred Armisen and Kristen Wiig. No, this is way before that.
This is way before
Maybe
that.
before you were born. I don't know.
Yeah, it was Will Ferrell and
Yeah.
I forget the lady's name.
Yeah.
She's on Goldberg, since she plays like the music teacher or something like that now.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they were like doing Under the Boardwalk, and you know the part where it goes under the boardwalk. The lady sang that part, and she would be like, under the boardwalk. And I'm like, this is Saturday Night Live. We are sitting in Saturday Night Live right now. It was so funny. And I was trying not to laugh, and they're like, give us some songs. Tell us some songs you want us to do. And it was just,
that's great.
It's really funny.
Man.
But the food was all good. You asked about Spam. Did I have Spam?
Yeah, I did.
I did not have Spam.
Apparently, it's pretty big in Hawaii.
Oh, yeah, it is. But maybe Disney doesn't do Spam.
I don't think know. They do.
I think there was like one thing on one of the menus that had like Spam rice, like rice with Spam in it, maybe. Yeah. But that's the only Spam thing I saw. At some of the other restaurants, I think at Waikiki's that they had Spam, but they didn't have it there because I guess it's Disney. But
yeah,
it was sort of a mix of different cuisines like Disney does. But it was fun. Like, it's probably the best trip that I think that Jennifer and I have just been on. I thought, anyways.
Yeah.
Without the kids, it was really good. They have a reef there where you can go snorkeling, like right in the middle of the pool area.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. Yeah.
Which was cool. We didn't do it because we were going to do it. It was a little colder, but I was like, do I really want to use a snorkel that somebody else has used sometime during the day?
Right. Yeah.
I know they probably cleaned them, and everybody's got these fancy black bracelets on, but
yeah, like, I mean, they've got some processes they do, but that's still weird. It's almost like, I don't know. I always feel weird, even with bowling shoes. Like, I've always felt like that was just weird. Like, somebody else wore these, I
was like, you could go up and like there are windows on the side where you could look at all the fish. I'm like, let's just go look at it instead of suck on somebody else's ear tube thing. So we did that. I did the lazy river a lot. The NCAA football national championship was when we were there.
Yeah.
And had Alabama playing. So Jennifer literally sat in the room and watched the whole game. Watched her team lose. She goes, "You want to watch it with me?" I'm like, "No." Like,
we're in Hawaii.
I pointed out to them. I'm like, we're in Hawaii. I'm going down and do stuff. I'm not going to sit in the room for 4 hours or whatever it is and watch a football game.
Yeah.
So I just floated in the lazy river for like a while because it was nice, and just sit back on one of those double ones. So I was just floating, and this guy bumped into me. He's like, "Oh, he's asleep." And I just laughed. He goes, "Where's the wife and kids?" I'm like, "I left the kids at home, and my wife's upstairs in the in the room, so I'm taking advantage of this." He goes, "Yeah, you go right ahead, take full advantage." Like, yeah, there was a lot of families there with kids, so it was nice to have that one hot tub where you could just go and chill. It was it always filled up around sunset. Everybody's like, "Oh, let's go watch the sunset in the hot tub."
Yeah,
the rest of the time it wasn't too bad, but they had 2 water slides. One you used the tubes on, and my wife and I tried that a couple of times, and it catapulted me over top of her head both times, which was funny. And then the other one was like pitch black, like the whole slide was in the dark, and I did not like that. It just made me feel claustrophobic, and because it was pitch black, you didn't feel like you were moving. You felt like that you were just stuck in the slide, and I'm just like, "Get me out of this." And that one emptied into the pool that we dubbed the vomit poop pool, because every day we were there, we would start to go to that pool, and they'd be like, "Oh, we're sorry, it's closed right now." And I'm like, "Why is it closed?" And the guy would be like, "Oh, I don't know." And then one of the supervisors would come by, and he'd be like, we could hear him talking to the supervisor, and be like, "Why did it close?" And the lady would be like, somebody vomited in the pool. And I'm just like, I'm not getting in that pool.
Never go to that pool.
And then right after that, they're like, oh, pool's back open. I'm like, all those people just got in that vomit pool.
It's worse than wearing a snorkel somebody else wore.
Yeah, I'm like, that's disgusting. So we went to the other pools that never got shut down.
Yeah.
So if people vomited in those pools, then they either didn't tell or nobody saw.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it was, that was sort of gross. So it was a relaxing trip. They had these things called the Menahunis.
Oh,
which are these little people. We brought one home, like
little people
that have built the resort. They helped build a lot. It's like these little like tiki like things.
Okay.
The Menehune, and they're helpers, and they look for people that help, and they watch for people to help, and then they help those people or something. There's a whole story.
Yeah.
But they have this one kids area called the Menehune Bridge, and there's Menehunes all over it that are like building the bridge. And you go on a scavenger hunt, you can look for there's Menehunes hidden everywhere. Like even in the elevators, you'll be in the elevator and you'll look up, and there's this little creature staring at you. And you're just like, oh, hi. Hello.
It's a new twist on Hidden Mickey, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's sort of their Hidden Mickey, the hidden Menehune. Yeah. They're all over the place, and there's a scavenger hunt. You get an iPad with this lady that guides you around, and you get to it makes like like in the Magic Kingdom, the pirate thing. It's like that.
That's cool.
There's like all this stuff that will come to life when you do stuff near it.
Yeah.
So that was fun. We did that one day, and we brought a Menehune home for the kids. And we said, Elf on the Shelf, this is like the Hawaiian version of Elf on the Shelf. And he watches you. And they're like,
all the time.
And I didn't think about them thinking he would move. So the first morning,
oh no,
got back, they were like, he didn't move. And I'm like, oh,
he doesn't move.
Yeah. I'm like, he's so lazy. He doesn't move.
That's right. That's what you'd have to do that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That would drive me up the wall. Every freaking day.
But it was cool. They had a lot of stories and stuff like that. It was, very nice resort. And the elevators, all the music that is playing in the elevators are Disney songs, but they're sung in Hawaiian. So that was sort of a fun game. Get an elevator, like, what song are they singing? Then you figure it out. Oh, it's that Disney song.
That's cool.
And everybody was super nice. The cool thing about this resort is across the street there's like this little shopping center that has some restaurants in it. So if you don't want to eat at Disney like every night for the Disney prices, you could go across the street and get really good food. This place called Monkey Pod. Highly recommend. If you go to Aulani, go across the street, right in front of the resort. There's this shopping center with this place called Monkey Pod, and they had really good food for like half the price of the Disney food.
Sure, yeah.
They had the last day there, I discovered my favorite thing of the trip. I don't drink sodas. I don't drink alcohol. So there's not much for me to drink at restaurants. Right. And I said, hey, because I saw tea in most places when you get tea, it's like unsweet tea. And I'm like, I don't want unsweet tea. And I'm like, can you make me like an Arnold Palmer?
Yeah.
That's like lemonade tea. I'm like, oh yeah, do you want it plantation style? And I'm like, oh.
Easy now.
I'm like, what is plantation style? They're like, oh, instead of lemonade, we use pineapple juice.
Hey-o.
Let me tell you, it was so good. Fresh pineapple juice and tea mixed together. Yeah, that's my new favorite drink. It was really good.
Interesting.
So go to that. I'm pretty sure it's called plantation style.
It probably is. I mean, because that's what they have. They have the pineapple plantation. It's not the plantation like we think of in the South.
Yeah. But it came with fresh pineapple stuck in the top of it.
Nice.
So I recommend that. And they have this pie that is phenomenal. They have different flavors. We got the strawberry. Best piece of pie I think I've ever had. So I recommend that place. There's some other restaurants in there that we didn't go to, and then there's some stores. There's the ABC store, which are all over Hawaii, which is basically sort of like a convenience store.
Yeah.
But it's like the go-to place to get stuff. There's an ABC store across the street. So if you want cheaper souvenirs, now notice I didn't say cheap souvenirs because everything there was expensive.
Yeah.
The Disney stuff was way more expensive, but even the regular stuff was expensive.
Yeah.
So we didn't get many, and there wasn't that much to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't anything really at Aulani much to buy. I thought I'd get a hat or a T-shirt, and they didn't really have anything. I don't know if it's because of supply chains or.
It probably is. Yeah.
There wasn't. They still had like Halloween shirts from 2019.
That's crazy. Gee whiz.
On clearance, but the clearance.
Yeah.
Was not clearance.
So did you feel like though that you were at a Disney property, like a Disney resort, besides the prices? But I mean, like, what made it Disney to you? I guess
the only thing that, of course, all the staff was very nice, very Disney friendly. The only thing that really made it feel like you were actually at a Disney resort was characters would walk around.
Okay, yeah, that was what I was thinking of.
Yeah. So like for the there's a character breakfast. Usually they walk around during breakfast, but because of COVID, you like go there and you get your picture taken with them, and then you go to this other line and Goofy's there pretending like he's cooking up your breakfast, and I think Pluto was with them, or Max was with them, his son, and you get your picture with them, and then that's all the time you see him. And then in the middle of the pool area, there's this bridge that goes through like the tropical forest or whatever you want to call it. That's all these because all the pools and stuff are surrounded by all these trees and stuff. But there's Catronaz's dog. One of his dogs.
He was whining, so I picked him up, and Winchester wanted to see the dog. So.
Oh, he's a guest. He's our new guest. Yep. So like all these characters would wander through there and like stand on the bridge and wave at you. So like Moana was waving one day, and Minnie Mouse, Mickey Mouse, all them. So that made it feel like Disney because you would see the characters. I think during non-COVID times they just walk around everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I remember seeing before or hearing or whatever. So. Yeah.
So that's cool. The only thing. And there's a Dole Whip stand that has like Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Dole Whip sundaes, Stitch Dole Whip sundaes, Moana Dole Whip stuff. And it was more than just like getting the Dole Whip. Like it was in a waffle cone bowl with fresh pineapple or fresh watermelon. And
nice.
They had watermelon Dole Whip, which I was going to try one day, and the machine was down. And I'm like, like just give me pineapple.
I'll settle for pineapple.
Yeah. And then they have a shave ice stand where you could get your shave ice with Mickey ears on it.
Nice.
Which I got the shave ice one day, but I didn't get the Mickey ears because I was like, how are you going to eat this? Because it has these two big ears of ice on the side of the cup. I'm like, isn't that just going to fall off and you're paying extra for it? So I didn't get that.
Yeah, good.
But that's the only thing. It just felt like a really nice resort. Very family friendly. Cool. So that made it feel like Disney. But it wasn't like, let's go ride rides or let's go.
Yeah. That's a different experience, right? Probably equate it more to like a cruise even because you've got some experiences and the people working there, the cast members make it feel like you're at Disney and you're in a bubble, right? You could kind of be in that bubble and spend all your money, I guess.
You can.
But you said that there were multiple pools and a lazy river and you've got all this stuff at your at your fingertips, right? That you could go see and that probably made it feel a little bit like, again, the Disney bubble.
Yeah. You definitely
especially like being on an island, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely it felt more like a bubble than Waikiki. I like that side of the island way better. They do have a luau there that you can, so basically you can do everything there. They have a luau, but we didn't do the luau because it's really expensive.
I'm sure, yeah.
And the menu, I think there was like one thing on the menu I could eat. So I'm like, basically I'd be paying all that money to sit and
watch somebody throw fire around.
Yeah, watch a show. Which it was out there. I mean, you could just go and watch it from the sidewalk or something. Right. We walked behind it one time. We heard part of the show from behind. And I'm like, it was just too much. I think it was like, for the lower ticket, it was like $170. And it went up from there.
Wow.
And the menu was not,
yeah.
It wasn't like anything fancy or anything. So I mean the other restaurant where you had the prefix meal, it was like $70 or something.
Man.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Monkey Pod is your friend there.
Yeah, right.
Across the street.
Yeah. Find other places to go.
Yeah. And the quick service wasn't too bad price wise. We got a whole pizza. The pizza was like $21, but it was like a huge pizza that we ate on for like days.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's reasonable to me, I guess, for when you're on vacation. You kind of expect things to be a little more expensive, but
yeah. And our room had a little fridge and a microwave and stuff, so we went to Target on the way to Aulani, which we should have just got our stuff there, like our souvenirs there, because it's cheap, a little cheaper than the rest of the place. But there's like a Target on the way to Aulani from the airport, like a key area. So I recommend doing that and get your snacks, stuff like that from like Target, or there's a Costco, I think. And don't worry about buying your snacks and stuff at Aulani, unless you want Dole Whip.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's true with lots of vacations, but specifically Disney vacations, right? It's either pack your snacks or buy some when you're there. Don't buy them at Disney unless you just have to have that Mickey bar or that Dole Whip, right? There's certain things you gotta have, but you can do a lot of your food and snacks, externally.
Yeah. And it's a DVC resort, so there's DVC people everywhere, and they want you to tour the rooms and buy more points, which we did because we're like, well, we can tour it. But they gave us a tour of the Grand Villa, which is like, it had 3 bedrooms, a full dining room, a full living room, a full kitchen.
Wow.
Laundry. So I think it slept like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 12 people you could probably put in there. It was nice though.
Yeah.
They only have 2 of them, and it's like overlooking the ocean, like top floor overlooking the ocean. Like you could live in one of those things. They're huge. They take up like a whole section, and the balcony runs from like one end to the other of the building. And you could see like the end of the island from up that high. You can like look over and you're like, oh, there's the other end of the island over there. So, so the Grand Villa is really nice. You just have to, if you're a DVC member, when you're there, just go, can I see the Grand Villa? And they'll take you up there. Because I bet rarely people stay up there.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's probably almost all the time open. Maybe during the prime times that people are vacationing there, there's some rich folks that are going to go there, some
or the
celebrities or whatever. Yeah. You guys decided not to say that this time, I guess.
We decided, they offered it, and I'm like, really? It's just the 2 of us.
It's a waste,
Yeah, we want other people to see the room.
Yeah.
But our room was nice. We were on the 14th floor, so we could look out, watch the sunset every night.
There you go.
Which was beautiful sunset.
Yeah.
I never thought about it, but yeah, when we'd go to the beach growing up, we'd be on the East Coast. So if you wanted to see the sun coming, you'd have to see it coming up. Like you would have to see the sunrise.
Yeah.
And who wants to get up to see sunrise when you're on vacation?
That's right.
But when you're in Hawaii, the sunset is at night, or of course the sunset's at night. But the sun is over the ocean. Yeah,
only in Hawaii.
The sun is over the ocean at night. So, so every night was a good view.
Yeah, that's
whether we were in the hot tub or on the beach or in our room, we saw a beautiful sunset. And they had a guy from NASA that would come certain nights, and you could pay a little extra, and he brought these big, huge telescopes. And because you were out in Hawaii in these beautiful skies, you could see like all these constellations, all these stars. So we got to take a tour of the galaxies and got to see all kinds of stuff. He had a telescope you could look through, and then one that would take pictures so you could see like galaxies and stuff and stars up close and all that stuff. And so that was cool because not only did he do like the science NASA side of it, but he did sort of like, he told the history of Hawaii and what they used the stars for and how they would use them to, guide themselves places. And
Sounds like a song from Moana.
Yeah, he said, remember in Moana when they stick their hand up in the sky and they're like, that they actually did that. And he would show, how to do that. And he showed us how to do that. He tells a story about this, I think it was a queen or princess or something that just got tired of people wanting stuff from her, so she paddled to the moon. And went to live on the moon, and she's still there today, living on the moon. And there, he asked the people in the group, like, how do you think she paddled to the moon? And kids are like, oh, she just got a rocket ship. And he's like, no. But because it's Hawaii, where the moon would rise and fall, she would paddle to the horizon. And then, of course, she would hit the moon.
Be right there at the moon. That makes sense to me, yeah. It's kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean, you go up to the end of the earth, right?
Yeah. So I do recommend that. He was a very, he was from NASA, so he knew what he was talking about. It was a cool, and it's something to do after 8 o'clock because it was like 8:30.
That's right.
Yeah. It was at 8:30. So, and he goes different times of the year. You'll see different star constellations. He said that you can see the Southern Cross there, which we couldn't see that here. So you can see different things. We saw Orion's belt. We saw through that big telescope. We would see these stars. There are like two stars that are coming together. So it's like a double star. Mm-hmm. And one of them says they call it Olaf because it looks like Olaf for Frozen.
Yeah.
And you could see the different colors of the stars, which is really cool. Because when we look up with our eyes, there's all white. But when you look at the telescope, there's some that are sort of orangey. There's some sort of, and that tells how, where they are in their life stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he would tell people like, how old are you, kid? And the kid would be like 8 years old. And he'd be like, well, this star, it took like 8 years for it to get here. So
for us to see it. Or
yeah. So it's like the same age, like as far as the light traveling.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. So that's cool. I recommend that. Cool. And then you can take free ukulele lessons, which was fun. It was very beginner. And because I play guitar. So I'm just sitting there like, playing it.
Yeah.
Well, because you just know chord, that's a chord formation. So I did it. While all these other people were like, blah, blah. I'm like, that was really easy. And all these other people were like, gosh, that was so hard. But that was fun. So you could do like a beginner ukulele lesson and learn I think they taught like 3 or 4 chords, which is all you need to know for
it's the same as guitar, right? You can get by with 3 chords.
Yeah. You can buy them there if you want to buy one, all that stuff.
Of course.
And you can if you want to pay extra, we didn't do this. You can make your own Mickey ears with like Hawaiian flowers and stuff like that.
All right.
Yeah. So it was fun. I really liked it. I highly recommend, especially if you want to go to Hawaii, because I've been to Hawaii once before. And we stayed in Waikiki and we did all the tour things. I like this a lot better. It was very relaxing, very nice. Very nice. I highly recommend Aulani, especially if you're a DVC. If you're a DVC, there's no excuse not to do it.
Of course. Yeah.
Like if you're going to Hawaii, because just use your points.
Right.
And you'll enjoy it. Oh, but around from the resort, if you walk, so if you're going there, walk to the beach. There's a hotel right beside you, which is like a Four Seasons or whatever that fancy one is. Mm. Walk around there through these bushes, and it'll take you to the secret path. And you go down, and it takes you to this what they call the Secret Cove.
Oh,
where you can see seals that will come up and just lay there all day.
Nice.
You have to stay like 50 feet away from the seals, which is crazy. If you get caught like 49 feet away from a seal, you get fined. They're very strict, and they have people
out there with the tape measure. It's like,
yeah. Like this one guy got yelled at because he was trying to walk around because I want to go over there. And like, get away from the seal.
It's gonna eat you.
Yeah. But there's like all these rocks you can walk out on, and you can see like all these fish and stuff. So I posted a bunch of pictures and videos and stuff on our TikTok and our Instagram.
Oh,
we have TikTok. I'm Geek Show. We're doing what the kids do, I guess.
Don't stop.
But there's that one, and there was like 3 coves. There was a secret cove and another one, and then Paradise Cove, where you can snorkel. And I saw a big turtle there, and you can walk out on the rocks and see all these fish and birds. And the whole time we were there, my wife wanted to see whales. She kept asking about whales. I told her to go on a whale excursion. I didn't want to go on one because I would have been throwing up probably the whole time.
Those are long, and we did one in Maine, and it's a long ride, and it's fast too.
Yeah. I told her she could go on one. I had no problem, but she didn't want to. So we go to one of the pools that has the overlook, infinity pool. She was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. So she go to the bathroom, and I'm just sitting there, and this lifeguard goes, Hey man. I'm like, hey, how you doing? He goes, look out there, there's a whale.
No.
He's like, whoosh, you see the spout come up. She comes back, and I'm like, do you want me to tell you something, or do you not want me to tell you something? She's like, what? I'm like, you just missed the whales. She's like, what the heck?
Oh,
you gotta be kidding me. This happened like twice.
Oh no.
It's like the whales did not want her to see them. Like every time she'd go away, they just pop up.
Yeah.
Because it happened another night in the hot tub. Like this one was like popped up. You saw the hump and everything.
Oh wow.
It's just I didn't see it. And I felt so bad. And they have mongoose there, and this mongoose ran beside me. And she didn't see that. She didn't see the turtle either, because she was doing yoga on the beach. And she missed the turtle. She didn't see the mongoose. She didn't see the whales. She did see the seal. So she's very into nature and stuff. So she wanted to see all this, and I'm the one that saw it all. It was pretty funny.
She just had a bad trip because her team lost, and she never saw any wildlife.
But yeah, they have mongoose there, which they brought mongoose in like in the 1800s because it's not a native species, to get rid of rats. And then the mongoose like took over and eat all the birds now.
Oh no.
And I'm trying to think what else happened there. Oh, we started talking to somebody in the hot tub, this family, and we found out that she knew somebody that Jennifer knows.
Oh no.
Sister's best friend.
That's
like
crazy.
My wife's sister's best friend. Like, oh yeah, they were like from Knoxville. Like,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
we're from Knoxville. I'm like, what?
How funny.
I grew up in Johnson City. He's like, what?
That's great.
So it is funny.
Yeah. That's fun.
We had a great time. I didn't want to leave. I wanted to stay. It's beautiful there. You look one direction, you see the ocean. You turn around, look the other way, you see mountains, which was nice.
Yeah.
I want to go back, take the kids, take my mom with us. I think she would love it. And take the Catrons. Catrons can come too.
Let's go.
Let's all go. Let's all go. Just sign up for DVC. You can go.
No Too late for that, man.
You're
so
young.
You're young. I'll be 44 in a couple weeks, man.
You're young.
Crazy.
How many weeks? I need to look at my calendar.
A few. It's the day of the Super Bowl, by the way.
They still do that?
They do. Oh. I said, did you get me tickets to the Super Bowl? She's like, you got me. They ruined the surprise.
I couldn't tell you who's going to be supposed to be in it.
Titans, I think, might be. I don't know.
Oh, really?
We don't know yet. I mean, they're in the running, I think. So I could be wrong.
So the last day, we had to get back to the airport. So we had to get a car to get back to the airport. And getting in the airport's very strict. Like once you get to your thing, if you want to go back, you have to show them, I've got a ticket to like go get food and stuff. Like, I'm okay, I could go get a ticket, or I can go get food. Winchester wants to come along with us. You can watch the kids for me
There you
while
go.
I go to. We flew. Our flights got all messed up, so we ended up flying into Los Angeles on the way back, which was good. We decided it was even cheaper to do it this way. We decided to stay there for a day, and because I've always wanted to go to Disneyland, so we went to Disneyland. So this is the part of the episode where we talk about Disneyland. So buckle up.
This is the non-relaxing part of it, the trip, I'm sure.
Yeah. I wish that we had done it in reverse. Like we went to Disneyland first and then went to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Because I'd never been to Disneyland. I figure who knows when I'll go back. So we got the park hopper for one day, and we basically did Disneyland and California Adventure, like the whole thing. It was so weird. Let me tell you. I know the multiverse is really big right now in Marvel. It was like you're entering the multiverse of madness or whatever. Because when we first walked into Disneyland, it's like you were in this alternate universe because it sort of looked the same. Yeah, I don't know what that is. But it looked completely different. Like it was the same but different. Like you're like, am I? It felt like you were in Disney World, but you were a giant because everything was smaller. So like even Main Street was smaller, like height wise. Yeah. Than Disney World. And of course the castle is very tiny compared to Disney World.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
I was like, it's so tiny. I'm like, I know, I feel like a giant. And it's very more compact. Like as far as the streets.
Yeah.
The hub, like walking down it and stuff. More compact. It was cool. Don't get me wrong, but it was different. It was weird. Yeah. It took a while. It took a while to like get into it.
Yeah, because it looks similar, but it's different. Because they say everything's compact and you can get to everything a lot quicker. And there's a lot that's the same, but then there are some differences.
Like when you enter Adventureland on the left, you can just see Frontierland right there. It's all like together pretty much. It's like, look, it's tropical. Oh, look, there's the Old West. It's just sort of like that. And then you come out of that, and then you have New Orleans Square, which was very cool. That's probably my favorite part of it. It's very cool. It looks like you're in sort of a more Disney New Orleans, but it looks New Orleans area.
Yeah.
We got mint juleps and strawberry mint juleps and beignets, which were really good. We ate lunch. I got a corn dog for lunch. And let me tell you, everybody says, get the corn dog, get the corn dog. It's the best. I'm going to be that guy. I think the one at the Magic Kingdom at Sleepy Hollow is better.
Wow.
I really do.
Well, did you have a churro? Because I hear the churros are better there.
I did have a churro, and I think the churros were better.
Yeah.
But the churro that I got that was in Cars Land at the cone. Cone
Lazy Cone or whatever.
I don't know.
I don't know.
And it was good.
Cozy Cone.
Cozy Cone. Yeah, it was good. I think it was better than Disney World's churros.
Yeah.
They didn't taste stale. They didn't taste like they've been sitting there all day.
Yeah.
But it was good. So we got the churro, got the corn dog, which I
Nice.
thought the one at Sleepy Hollow was better. Got a Matterhorn macaroon.
Okay.
Macaroon. I don't know.
Yep.
It wasn't the sandwich type. It looked like the Matterhorn.
Okay.
And that thing was dense. Like I thought it was gonna be this fluffy thing. It was dense. And there's this YouTube channel called Provost Park Pass, and he did this challenge where he would ride the Matterhorn, which is a ride there they don't have at Disney World.
Right.
He would ride the Matterhorn and then eat one of these Matterhorn macaroons, and then ride it and then eat, and then ride it and eat. Like, how in the world did that dude eat so many of them? Because those things were dense.
Yeah.
So we got that.
Well, what did
go
you
ahead.
think of the Matterhorn, though?
It was fun, but if you have a bad back or a bad neck, it will wear you out.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was cool. And I was laughing and having fun through the whole thing. But it jerks you around.
Yeah.
I think it was like the first tubular roller coaster. So
yeah.
But it's cool. It's weird seeing it like, so the Matterhorn's like on the right, and then the castle's right there, and the Matterhorn is just huge compared to the castle.
Yeah.
So that was cool to see. It was weird. The Astro Orbiter is just like right there off of Main Street. Like Tomorrowland's right here, and it's just like right there. So that was really weird to see. It was like, that shouldn't be there. That should be on top of something.
Yeah.
Because it was basically like, here's the hub, like in Magic Kingdom, and it was like right there on the right before you even really entered the sign that said Tomorrowland. It was just right there.
Yeah.
And Space Mountain was better.
Yeah.
Than Disney
I imagine. World. Yeah. Did you feel like it was smoother?
It felt smoother.
Yeah.
And you sit side by side, and they have speakers that played the music and the sounds and stuff in your ear. So it did feel a lot smoother. But yeah, I think it was better. The way you got into the Space Mountain was weird. You like go up on this roof, basically, where this helipad is, and that's where the line is. That was sort of weird. It felt weird going into it.
Yeah.
Like, it feels wrong. It feels weird. But the ride itself, I think there was more effects like in the ride.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do like a Star Wars version, which would be cool to see, but they didn't have it there.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I like that better. And Pirates, way better than the one at Magic Kingdom.
Is
twice as long.
Okay, yeah, because they have more at the beginning, kind of like you're coming into the.
It felt like a store.
Area. Yeah,
it felt like you were like basically it starts with all these skeletons, and it felt like you were being transported back into time.
Mm-hmm.
So you see like the skeletons and stuff, and then you get to this one point where there's this one pirate and a skeleton in a cage, and when you go past it, he turns into a full human.
Wow!
It's like you're going back in time to see the pirate.
Yeah.
But he was so good, and there was like multiple drops. Opposed to just the one drop, multiple drops. That you
were they longer or anything like that?
Oh, the first one was way longer.
Because the other day, I listened to Sorcerer Radio. It's an app you can download, and they have different channels, and one of them on there is rides. They're like just the sounds of rides and music of rides, and some of it's like live sounding, and others are just like they have the recording. And it was Pirates we were listening to, and there was this really long drop. It seemed like, and people were screaming like for a long time. I was like, that sounds really weird. Like I guess I didn't realize that was different. That part of it was different,
Yeah, a way longer drop because it goes underneath the railroad, so it has to like go down lower, I guess.
Yeah.
And then there was like at least one or two other little drops.
Yeah.
Which was cool. And then at the end of the ride, you go up this big hill to get back to the unloading. Like it's big hill with like two like waterfall looking things going down beside it.
Okay.
So to get you back up top, I guess.
Yeah.
Because you go down below all this stuff. But yeah, I was very impressed with Pirates there.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
I've never heard about those differences. People always talk like, I like it better, but they didn't say why.
Yeah.
Which maybe they were trying to keep it a surprise. I don't know. We spoiled it for everybody, whatever. But
yeah, I mean, it has like when you get down to the live Pirates, if you want to say that, it has like all the same scenes.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of extra stuff before and after.
Sure. Yeah.
And the order's a little different of some of the things.
Yeah.
In the ride. But yeah, I liked it. Liked it a lot. Cool. What else? Oh, Big Thunder Mountain.
Okay.
It was like it looks different because they have used different kinds of rock formations for that one. But it also is like you're going backwards, sort of.
The same track, but going the other way.
It felt like that.
Yeah.
Because when you get to the dinosaur bones part, you like go through it from tail to head.
Mm-hmm.
This one you go from head to tail.
Interesting.
And the city's in a different place, the little town.
Yeah.
It's like you're going through that backwards, sort of. There's
That's
more
good.
effects.
Yeah.
It did. My wife said it felt a little shorter than the one at Disney. I don't know if it was or not, but it was still fun. I mean, it's a bit better, but it did feel weird. That was one of the things. Like, are we in an alternate universe? Because like we're going backwards in this, like sort of everything's in the wrong place.
That's good though. I mean, I'm glad there's these differences though, right? Because I mean, otherwise, it's like, why would you go to the other one? You know?
Yeah.
Keeps it interesting.
Indiana Jones was the first ride we did.
Oh yeah.
It was so good.
That's what I hear. Man, I'd love to do it. I don't. They talk about it possibly changing Dinosaur into everybody wants to change Dinosaur to be that, and I was like, I don't know if I want that. I like Dinosaur, but I want to ride that. I know. But that's my wife's favorite ride, so we can't get rid of it.
It's basically the same.
But she would still like it. I mean,
same ride vehicle.
Yeah.
But with Indiana Jones, and it was really cool. And the queue is like really long. We had Genie Plus.
Good.
And it came in very handy. We hardly waited for any ride we went on. Did you freeze up, or did I freeze up?
You're kind of freezing a little bit every once in a while, but I don't know.
Anyways, so I recommend Genie Plus, I guess, because it worked for us. I mean, we didn't wait hardly at all for anything.
Yeah.
But you don't get it for all the rides.
Yeah. Like
all those rides in Fantasyland, it's not on the Lightning Lane stuff. Since we're talking about Fantasyland, let's dive into that.
Let's dive.
Fantasyland there, I'm just gonna say it. It is the stuff of nightmares. It is where nightmares are made. These rides, I mean, I don't know how little kids ride these rides. They're terrifying. Like I heard grown people when they would get off, they'd come out the exit of these rides and we were in line waiting, be like, I didn't know it was going to be like that. Like, I mean, one of the rides on Mr. Toad's, you actually go to hell.
Well, you're going to hell, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The Pinocchio one is just like terrifying. It's like some kind of child kidnapping ring. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Oh my!
Like, look at all these rides going. What the heck is happening? Like they were not fun little happy kids rides. It was like all the dark parts of these movies is what they said. Okay, what should we focus on? Right. Should we focus on this happy sing along part, or should we focus on this like demented, scary part? Let's go to the demented route.
Yeah.
And we did the Pinocchio one. We did Mr. Toad's. We did the Alice in Wonderland, which was fun. The Alice in Wonderland was fun. It's like two levels. The Alice in Wonderland ride goes up, then it comes back outside, and you see outside, and then you go back in and go back down. Snow White, which they changed a little bit, but it's still the scary parts. There's another one. What was the other one?
Probably Storybook, or is that somewhere else?
We did do the Storybook.
Is that the boat?
They had the Storybook canals, which we didn't do.
Yeah.
Because we were just there for one day, so we couldn't get everything. And so I was like, let's hit the major stuff, and then if we have time, like we did those Fantasyland rides at the very end, because Magic Kingdom or Disneyland, whatever, was open from 8 to 11, and California Adventure was open from 9 to 9 or something like that. So we did Disneyland in the morning, and then in the afternoon went over to California Adventure, and then after they closed, finished out at Disneyland. So we got in all the major rides. I don't think there was a major ride we didn't ride. Oh, we didn't ride Jungle Cruise because we just never could get over there.
Yeah.
And we didn't ride the Star Wars rides because they're the exact same.
Right. Yeah, there's no.
And Galaxy's Edge is pretty much the exact same with one more way to get into it.
Yeah.
Which that's the part that felt weird, because when you're in Galaxy's Edge, your mind tricks itself and you think you're at Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
That's all you know.
I bet. Yeah.
But at the end of the night, we were there last. So I'm like, let's just head out. I'm like, no, wait.
Let's go through Toy Story.
We're not in Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to the rides at the California Adventure, the Marvel area, very cool.
Yeah, that's
on
cool.
campus.
Yeah.
We happened to call the kids when we were walking over there, and they wanted to see it. So we showed it to them, and then we made the mistake of having them see the spider bots you can buy there. And then they're like, "Can you bring us a spider bot? Can you bring us both a spider bot?" And I'm like, "What? No, why did we show this?"
Look at these cool things you can buy and take home.
Yeah. So, but then we felt guilty because we were gone for like 11 days. I'm like, so we bought them spider bots, which is actually fun. It's sort of like battle bots because you fight them and they like blow up when you shoot them enough.
Nice.
So if you like battle bots, I mean, they're pretty cool.
Are they, so we have some spider bots. They're Hexbug. Are they Hexbug? Like they have a tiny little remote, or or is it like Spider-Man kind of looking?
This is for the ride there. So
okay.
in the Spider-Man ride, it's like a shooter game.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have guns like on Buzz Lightyear, which Buzz Lightyear is cool there too. You can lift the gun up and move it where you want to. It's not hooked onto anything. So you just pick it up and just shoot all over the place. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
But the Spider-Man ride, you're in this thing. At the beginning of it, Peter Parker comes out and talks to you, which I'm like, who's this Peter Parker guy?
Yeah. Who is Peter Parker?
I don't know who this is. Anyway, everybody was saying that joke. But then you flick your hand like you're shooting spider webs. And that's how you shoot these spider bots that are overtaking the ride.
Yeah.
So your car is working as a team instead of like individual, like on Buzz Lightyear or something. So you're trying to get the most. And you can get these devices at the store that you can wear that will give you extra powers on the ride, which we didn't do that. No. We just like, and there's different ones have different point values and stuff. So we got like 4th of the hour or something.
There you go.
For the first time, that wasn't bad.
Yeah.
So that's really fun. But there's these spider bots, and they're like this big.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're huge. They're big.
Yeah.
It's sort of like getting a droid at Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
You can get all these attachments to make them look like Iron Man and stuff, but we didn't do that. The kids want me to paint theirs to make it look different, so I'll probably end up painting them. They have these remotes that they walk, like a spider or whatever, and then they have like guns, like lasers that will shoot out and shoot each other. And then when you shoot one enough, their back flies off.
Oh.
Yeah. And it has like a button you can hit, and then like a spider signal, like a bat signal will come out of it and like shine on the floor, which is cool. So they're really cool. I mean, they weren't too cheap, but it's like, well, we've been away from them for like 11 days. I guess we should bring them something fun. So we've had fun with them. But so, yeah, Marvel Island, or it's not called Marvel Island, Avengers Campus. Fun. The characters were out, but they're sort of away from people right now. So we saw Loki, and I went up to his handlers. His handlers were where you could talk to them, but Loki was up on a thing, and I gave him some of our Loki I Am Geek buttons, and they were like, "What? This is awesome!" And they're like, "Take it up." I'm like, "We'll have to be." I'm like, "Do you think Loki will win?" They're like, "Oh yeah, Loki's gonna want one of these." And they're like, as long as he tries to, try to stab somebody with, because he likes to stab people. So hopefully he won't stab somebody with a pen.
That's awesome.
But that was fun. So I gave them.
Yeah.
We didn't eat in Pim's test kitchen because there wasn't much in there. Well, there wasn't anything there I'd eat but a pretzel. It was all like
tiny pretzels.
It was a big pretzel.
Big pretzel. The other way. Okay.
Yeah. And so we rode the Spider-Man ride there, and then they have Doctor Strange's show, which we saw some of that, which was cool. And then they have the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, which is Old Tower Terror. We made the mistake of riding that right after we ate dinner.
Oh no.
It made me so sick. And we were on there with these probably like high school graduates because they were all wearing the 2022 light up things. And they were like screaming the whole time. So it was a fun ride, I guess, but I did not enjoy it because I was just sick.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah.
The surprise ride of the whole trip to Disneyland was it's not called California Screaming now. Incredicoaster.
Yeah.
Probably the best Disney roller coaster I've ever been on.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Hmm.
It was very smooth, very fat, like super fast.
Yeah.
And you go upside down.
Ugh.
This once,
No.
but it was. I mean, it's just like a ride through space.
It's incredible.
It's just an incredible superhero ride. It was fun though. We were going to ride it again, but it was the time for us to ride it again was after doing the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm like, I can't do another thing. Just like, come on. I'm like, you can, but I can't.
She's younger than you, so she's still got a little bit of get up and go in her.
Yeah. So that area was cool. It's like Pixar Pier and everything's like so Pixar themed. There's a bridge there that when you walk over, because it's supposed to be like California themed originally,
right?
It simulates a tiny earthquake.
Oh,
so if you stand on it, you can feel it sort of shaking underneath. If you're just walking, most guests walking across it aren't going to feel anything. But if you stand still, you can like feel it shaking, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
All the restaurants were booked, so we couldn't like go in a restaurant. So we ate like at this Mexican, which probably was another bad idea right before going on Guardians of the Galaxy, eating Mexican food. But it was really good. It was like this Mexican like quick service, you want to call it that. It was really good, like traditional like tacos and stuff. What else was in California Adventure? Oh, Cars Land. Cars Land was really
Cars Land.
It was like you're in the movie. And the ride is amazing. Yeah. It's like Test Track, but like way better.
It seems like it would be because it's better themed, I think.
Yeah, better themed and it goes faster. I don't know if it goes faster, but it feels like it does.
Yeah.
And it takes like big curves and all this stuff. Yeah, super. I did recommend that a lot. We didn't do the other rides because the other rides in Cars Land were like little kids rides.
Yeah.
And do those. But yeah, Radiator Springs Racers was really good. And it looked like you're in the movie. Like
that's cool.
It looked like you're in the movie. It was like perfectly themed. I'm trying to think of what else we rode in California Adventure. I don't know if there was much else. Avenger stuff, the coaster, the Cars Land.
Yeah.
We didn't do Soarin' because it's the same as Epcot.
Yeah. No, I think it's smart. I mean, there's you want to do the classics, right, and do the ones that you know are a little bit different and get that experience because everybody says, it's this is better here, this is better here, but then there's some that's like you don't hear about much, or it's going to be the exact same. It's not worth your time, right? So
Haunted Mansion was closed.
Oh, that was one I was going to ask about. Yeah. Oh man,
they were taking down the
That's
Christmas
unfortunate
stuff.
Oh, what in the world?
And Splash Mountain was closed, which was really weird because Haunted Mansion and Splash Mountain are side by side. Like when I say side by side, like they could be touching. That's how close they are.
That's weird.
And it's just weird. You're like, wait a second, that shouldn't be like that. But we got to see a little bit of the outside of Haunted Mansion, but they had these big green fence lanes up, so you couldn't really see a bunch of it. So that stunk because that's one of my favorite rides.
Yeah,
I couldn't ride that. But it's cool how it's themed there. It looks like it's in New Orleans and everything.
Yeah, the mansion. It looks, it's a different kind of mansion.
Yeah, the one random ride that we did, because Jennifer wanted to do it. No, I sort of wanted to do it too. It's fun. They have canoes.
Oh.
Like real canoes.
Yeah, yeah.
And you get in and they give you a paddle, and you paddle around the island. Like it's not Tom Sawyer's Island there. It's like Pirates Cove or Island or something like that. You paddle around it with all these other people, and this person is guiding you, and they tell like Jungle Cruise type jokes, sort of.
Oh, cool!
Like they try to be funny, but they're like sarcastic funny type thing.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
That's cool.
So that was something different.
Yeah.
Canoe. One person in front of me dropped their canoe, and you just saw it float away.
Their oar.
Their oar, not their canoe. Yeah. They dropped the canoe. Dropped the whole canoe. So that was fun. Galaxy's Edge, again, was weird going into that. But I did give out some cast member crystals that I made. And they were like, people were going, The cast members are going crazy for them. We
Yeah.
had one person email us.
Oh,
Yeah, you'll have to check it out. It's on our Gmail.
I think I saw it actually. I was in there today setting up the live stuff, and I saw an email on Instagram or something like that. And
it was like, thank you so much. This made our day. Like I saw some of other Batu people that you gave it to, and we were all just gushing over them and
good.
So grateful. Like people were like, I gave one to one guy, and he's like, I'm so glad I came into work today. And all this stuff.
Oh, you made his day.
Yeah, and then I showed off my new crystal, which is coming out.
Yep.
And they were like, what is this? Like one of them said, what is this sorcery? Like, how are you getting it to do that? Because it does something different than anything that Disney has made for Galaxy's Edge. And it'll be coming out on iamGeek Shop on Etsy. So I showed that off. And then I got these two. My wife wouldn't let me get a lightsaber. So, yeah.
I don't know why. I mean, you were just on a big trip.
I don't know. I'm like, come on.
And you have 15 already. So,
come on. But I did get these things for they go with the Savi sabers. They don't look great on the Savi sabers, but they look cool as like display pieces. And they weren't, they weren't that expensive. There's this, if you've ever been to Galaxy's Edge, there's this like wood carving station that looks like there's a wood, I guess he's supposed to be a Wookiee wood carver, but he's carved, supposedly he has carved these creature pommels. That pommel is like the end piece of a lightsaber, right? And so they have, which I thought was really, they just came out with them, and I guess they're going to be limited, a Rancor and a Lothcat. If it's a Rancor, if you've been watching Boba Fett,
you're right. You've seen a Rancor.
So there's the Rancor. If you're watching on the video,
that's cool.
They're pretty big, but they're cool looking. They look like legit. They're not real wood, but they look like wood carvings. Yeah. They have the holes in them, so if you put it on the lightsaber, you can still hear. Yeah. And they have these little things on them that you take off. When you want to put it on the lightsaber. Yeah. But they look cool sitting, and then the Lothcat looks. I mean, it's creepy looking.
That one, I admit, was new to me. What is that from?
Lothcat has been in Rebels, and you see one in the first season of The Mandalorian. I think it's the first season.
I'm sure, yeah.
Like that pub thing he goes to. Mm-hmm. There's one like walking across the ground. But it's big. I think it's Rebels. It's big in. There's Lothcats, Rebels.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that's the Lothcat. That's the Rancor.
Very cool.
People have mentioned it looked cool on a cane. Like if you had a cane.
Yeah. That would look cool. That actually makes more sense than a lightsaber, to be honest. Yeah. It's kind of weird, but
they're cool. So like I can't get a lightsaber, so I'm getting these bad boys.
There you go.
And we spent the money on the spider bots for the kids. So.
There you go.
I know. And then, so we did basically everything there that we could. Yeah. And then the next day we had to fly out, but it was a later flight, so we went to downtown Disney. Okay. To check it out, and it's way different than Disney Springs. Yeah. That's what we're used to. Yeah. Lots more compact again. Mm-hmm. Smaller. They do have this huge Star Wars store, and I thought, maybe I can talk her into getting a lightsaber there, because it was like we slept, but they didn't have any lightsabers there. I was like, come on. Like, well. We ate a roll sandwich.
Of course.
It tasted the same.
Okay.
It's the other coast.
Bonus.
And we ran into one of our former guests of the show, Brian from Always Believe.
Very cool.
He was just standing outside the Star Wars store when we walked out, and I'm like, Brian? And he didn't hear me. I'm like, Always Believe? He's like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, you don't remember me, do you? He's like, I'm like, from iamGeek. He's like, oh, iamGeek. And then he goes, oh, you're wearing the shirt. That iamGeek shirt.
Of course.
And we talked for a while.
Good.
So that was cool. I ran into somebody. Yeah. That I knew in California. Or sort of knew. He's been on the show.
Right.
So, and then we went to their version of World of Disney, which just had Spirit jerseys galore. Like
That's the big thing right now.
Chris and his wife gave my wife one, a Disney Cruise Line one. And I'm like,
Okay.
oh, you got a Spirit jersey. She's like, what is this? I'm like, you're one of the cool kids now. So she works at Disneyland. I'm like, see? She's like, they're everywhere. She's like, there's even men wearing. I'm like, I know everybody's wearing them. She's like, do we need to get you one? I'm like, no, I don't want one.
No, thanks.
I'm like, I showed her the price. She's like, oh, yeah. I was like, I'd rather have a lightsaber. She's like, what do you mean? That's way more expensive. And I'm like, look at the price of this one. There's like one that was like over $100. She's like, oh,
come on.
I'm like, yeah, it's for like a sweatshirt. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't follow how they call it a Spirit jersey, like what that actually means.
But that made it trendy.
I know.
I don't know.
Whatever.
But they're expensive.
Yeah.
Even the ones in those little Numio stuffed animals, you could buy Spirit jerseys for them.
Oh, I
know.
Yeah.
Twice as much as anything else to buy for them.
That's crazy.
Anyway, so it was a great trip. Like, I'm still feeling the effects. I'm like super tired. I'm so out of it. I highly recommend Aulani, and I highly recommend if you have an extra day, stop in Disneyland because you're going that way anyways. If you have the time and you have the money, you might as well stop because it's not like Disney World. I mean, you could spend a week there, but I feel like you could get it done.
Yeah. 2 days maybe tops is that's what I've generally heard is, do 2 days there. That way you don't have to try to do everything, but you can do everything in a day. Like just like you guys did. You did most of everything. Especially if you've been to Disney World, you just want to do the things that are a little bit different or maybe the same, So
it was cool being walking where Walt walked.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Seeing where he lived, like his apartment that he would live in sometimes.
Yep.
So that was really cool.
That is cool.
So I highly recommend Aulani if you want to go to Hawaii, and I highly recommend, doing the Disneyland on the way back or on the way there or something. One of the two. Yeah. If you haven't been. I mean, if you've been before, then you don't have, you still can. It was a nice.
You're allowed.
It helped. I think it helped a little bit coming back because we got little, that time zone for a little bit, and then.
Yeah.
So it was fun. I recommend it. We got to get you to Aulani one day and to Disneyland one day, Katrin. One day.
Yeah, we'll go sometime.
Get you out there. Maybe we'll all go together. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know.
No, we want to go. I mean, that's what we told you guys last time. It's like we're definitely going the next time.
No, I mean with us, we're probably like, I don't know if I want to go with you.
No, hush. No, we want to go sometime and go with you guys, and I think we're just so afraid that we're going to miss out. If like we know everything here, and it's like we look forward to those specific things, right? Of going to Epcot, going to Hollywood Studios, going to Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom, and being in Disney Springs and just that whole area there. And it's like go over there, and it's like this thing, and you like you said, you can do it all in 2 days tops, right? And so then you can go explore California, and that's interesting too, because you talked about like one of your favorite trips ever is now your Hawaii trips, right? And one thing I said recently is one of our favorite trips is going to Maine. Like we never would have thought we would go to Maine and like have the time of our lives, right? But doing those things outside of Disney is fun. You can really have fun, and it actually it's less stressful.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think you guys would like it. I think once you got there, first you'd be like, what the heck? Like, this is so weird. And then you'll ride the ride, and you're like, oh, that's actually better than the ride at Disney World.
Yeah, it'll definitely be fun. I think I just have to keep in mind that it's, it's just going to be a couple of days, but I don't know. It's like, where would I rather be?
Maybe you figure out a way to do Aulani with that.
So,
do a day. And then
so I had not a job offer, but a recruiter reach out to me 2 times about a job in Oahu. And I think I talked about this one time on the show. It's like, I was like, I need to go and at least do the interview, right? I owe them that and go to Hawaii, right? But
It's expensive there.
That's what this guy. I was talking to a guy yesterday, and they went to Oahu and they stayed in a Airbnb, and he said the house they stayed in had to have been built right after the Pearl Harbor attacks. Like, it was super old, and it was expensive. Like, he said he looked up on Zillow, and he said that house was like $900,000. Yeah, like something ridiculous. And he said, but it was junk, compared to what you would think of a $900,000 house, but he said everything was expensive. The only thing that was cheap to him, was the, I can't even think of the name, but it's Spam Masumi, I think is the name of it, Mashimi or something like that. But it looks like sushi, but it's Spam and then sushi rice, and it's wrapped in seaweed, and they have different kinds. And he said you could go into any gas station and they would have it, and it was like $2 for one of these things. And they had different kinds, like they would have eggs in them or something, for breakfast inside all that. And but he said, everything was just so expensive.
Yeah, we got lost. We got turned around and went through this neighborhood when we were driving over to Aulani, and there was an open house. And so while I was driving, my wife looked it up just to see. It was a 3-bedroom, and it was $775,000.
Oh.
And it was like a small house that was like side by side another house in this like crowded neighborhood that didn't look nice at all. I'm
That's
like,
crazy.
Good gracious.
Doesn't make any sense. I mean, I guess you're living in Hawaii, so it's like that's what the real estate's worth, right? Because that's part of being there. And that's like California is super expensive too, right? And even Florida. Everything's getting expensive nowadays, but everywhere. But
I will tell you a little tip about that we learned at Aulani. If you're going out sightseeing by yourself, there's a lady there who, of course, lives around there. She was like, if you get a car and you go out, just don't go west of Aulani. And we're like, oh, why not? She's like, think of Compton. Like, you don't want to be there. Like,
that's where Dog the Bounty Hunter is.
Don't go west of Aulani. And we're like, oh, okay, we're not doing that.
Interesting.
Like, stay east or stay north. Just don't go west. So there we go. There's your tip.
There you go.
All right. Well, we've been. I think I've told you all there is to know about Aulani and Disneyland in this.
That's great.
Hour and a half, or whatever it's been. I don't know because my thing stopped.
I know. Yeah, it's been an hour and a half we've been on, but there's other Disney news real quick since this is a Disney episode. So today they released pictures of the new strollers. Did you see these at Disney World?
I saw the new strollers.
So I can't tell if they're smaller.
They look smaller.
They look a little bit smaller, and they're thinner, but they're bright red and have Mickey on them. They look cool, but they're probably smaller so they can fit more people in.
It didn't look like you could sit side by side. It looked like
that's what I thought too.
Front back.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
Not as wide.
Yeah, and then they announced recently that the new restaurant in Toy Story Land, Jesse's Roundup, is that what it was called?
It's Woody's Roundup, and then there's a Jesse's. There's like two things.
Okay.
It's Woody's Roundup restaurant, and then Jesse's. I don't know if it's a store or what it is. It's something else with Jesse.
Yeah, so that's.
Did it say when it was opening?
So it's supposed to be this year, is what they're.
I've heard that the restaurant has been finished for a while.
Okay.
But they've just been waiting to when they want to open it, have something new for people, so people to come back.
Yeah, and that's the thing about all these things that everybody's like, well, when's this going to open? Well, they've got to space it out, because if they open all of it at the same time, then all the people will come at that one time when it's all open. And then what about the next year? Why should people come back if nothing's new? Yep. Right? That's the idea behind all this. And there's lots of us that'll go just because, right? It's Disney. Yeah. We want to go, but there's their theology, or whatever you want to call it, their way of doing things is we need to have something new each year. And that's one reason why these but COVID too, but I want to say Galaxy said, but the Galactic Rewind, the Guardians of the Galaxy, that's why it's been delayed for part of the reason, right? Yeah. But that's opening this year too, and but yeah, I think they've always got to have something coming to keep people coming. So
that's true.
Whatever.
The other Disney news, which we didn't get to talk about, that's already happened, was the Figment popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
Released. And people waited 8 hours for it.
That's crazy. I thought it was funny that Universal tweeted out like, y'all must really like popcorn.
Yeah.
Or like making fun of. But what was funny is that Disney made fun of them for Hagrid's, how long people were waiting to get on it, so they were kind of going back and forth, I guess. But
I'm a huge Figment fan, but I wouldn't wait an hour.
No. There's very few, like I waited in line for the Madame Leota sippers that we got, that is really cool. I don't, it was nowhere near that long. And in fact, while I was standing in line, they said, oh, you can go over here now. And they opened up another little area. You could go and get them. And it was super quick, and that was the crazy thing about this popcorn bucket is they only sold it at this one kiosk, right?
Yeah.
It's like, why not do more? Why do you want everybody in this little area over here,
Yeah. And I didn't even, if I'm being honest, I didn't even think it looked that great.
No.
It looked like a Figment Buddha or something.
It's a little weird.
I didn't like it, really.
I looked at eBay that day, and people had them up, and they were selling for ridiculous amount of money. I saw one, and it had to be that they were making the price go up, like bidding on it with like another account or something. It's like up to $1,000. I'm like, come on.
See the Figment drawing, Figment pocket.
Yeah, the bad Figment drawing. That was something ridiculous too.
Yeah. I don't. I've seen better popcorn buckets, and I'm not even at popcorn buckets really. But
speaking of popcorn buckets, the Mouse Droid popcorn bucket is back.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
I saw a commercial for it the other day, or a video or something of somebody using. I was like, that's pretty cool. That would be something I wouldn't mind having, but I still wouldn't wait in line for it. Honestly, I mean, if the line's open and there's one sitting there, I'm going to go get it. But I'm not waiting more than 10 minutes for any of that junk, because it's so expensive anyways.
I'm with you there. Anyways, but it was a good trip, and I'm sure there'll be more Disney stuff coming out in the future. I may try for my birthday. I don't know if I'll get to. If I can find a really cheap plane ticket, I may go to May the 4th in Galaxy's Edge, just to experience May the 4th at Galaxy's Edge. If I can find like a cheap Spirit flight or something.
Yeah.
So we'll have that coming up. Anyways, all right. This has been iamDisney, a partner of iamGeek.
Partner.
Anyways, next week. What's next week?
Next week should be I Am Star Wars, because we've done all the other ones. It's the last one of the series, and that's the last Thursday of the month, so that works out pretty well.
All right, next week will be I Am Star Wars, which who knows what we'll talk about? Maybe some Boba Fett. I've been watching.
Be a good time for it, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Black Spire Day. Yes, Winchester. I'll hopefully be there for that. Anyways, so next week, I Am Star Wars. So if you're a Star Wars fan or know somebody that is a Star Wars fan, make sure you share our YouTube channel. Make sure you give us a like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Tell them to listen. If they listen to podcasts, wherever they listen to podcasts, just look up I Am Geek. It's I Am Geek Show on YouTube. Check out our TikTok. We'll post stuff on there every once in a while. I Am Geek Show. Instagram, I Am Geek Show. If you like kyber crystals, check out I Am Geek Shop on Etsy, because there's a new one coming out that is going to do all the colors. All the colors that you can think of. Well, that work with socks. That's right. It will do. Anyway, so we'll see you next week for something new, something fun, and of course, something geeky. Good night, everybody.